Welcome. In front of me I have the Boox Go 7 Gen 2, which is a little bit of a mouthful, and I'll be going over unboxing along with a quick look at the ebook reader, its build quality, and what it has to offer. Okay, so getting straight into this. There we go. Packaging wise, it looks pretty decent. You can see right here we have the Boox Go. Now I should have mentioned that it's a color. I don't think I did. So this is the color version, 7 Generation 2. And anyway, let's just get straight into this. It doesn't come with the charger in a box, which there was a sticker. I'll go like here. Wait, no. Or it does come with a charger, sorry. At least that's what I'm understanding. Interesting. Is that the case? Oh, there's the power button. Anyway, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so it bullshitted me. There is no charger in the box. There's only a cable. And the cable is Type A to Type C. Now I also have some SIM ejector. And there we go. And a warranty card. And a quick start guide. Okay. The hell? Oh, I think it's booting up now. Okay. So, get rid of this as well. So the 7 stands for the screen size. So this is a 7-inch display that comes with a Kaleido display, which gives you about 4096 pastel colors. And these are two different displays basically. So we have one that is both being paper ink obviously, but the color one has a bit of a smaller pixel density than the black and white. So the typical black and white one gets you about 300 pixels per inch, while the color one gets you 150. And this is turning on for a while. Now, if I remember correctly, this is running on Android, but it is heavily modified. I'm trying to see what is there to kind of talk about. While this is booting up, wow, that is taking a while. Damn. Yeah, let's just wait for it to boot up. Now, quickly mentioning a couple things. The device is made out of primarily plastic, which you can kind of see by looking at it. And on one of the sides, we do have, there we go, a SIM, sorry, not SIM, but SD card tray. So let's just to showcase this. Come on. There we go. So there it is, SD card tray. And you can pop in, I believe I saw up to 64 gigabytes in storage. I think at least that's what it was. Now let me quickly try to find a page where I can actually have the information written in a normal manner. Oh, there we go. So, yeah. Okay, so the device actually comes with 64 gigabytes built-in storage, UFS 2.2, 4 gigabytes of RAM. We have some Qualcomm octa-core processor powering this, and based on what we've seen, it's not the best one, considering this device was turning on for solid several minutes. Now let's see, can I set it up without needing to do any kind of connections? Now there is no pen included, but you can use it. And we're basically done with the setup. Yep, there we go. So I want to mention this because I don't think videos do this justice in a way. So on videos, this seems a little bit bigger than it actually is, but let me just bring up my phone, which is the Samsung S25, the small one, the smallest one that they offer. And here it is side by side, and you can quickly now see the difference. So something like the S25 or 6 Ultra would be definitely taller than what we have right here, and kind of similar size, I would say, to this. Just the ebook reader is a little bit wider. So this is a small device in general. Something that on videos and pictures just seems like it is a little bit bigger than it is when you get it in hand. Now, one more thing that I want to mention is when it comes onto the build quality, it is obviously heavily inspired by the Oasis from Amazon, Kindle Oasis. But one thing that Kindle Oasis has going for it that I personally like more is the fact that on the side, if you just kind of look at it like this, Kindle Oasis has a protrusion right here, so it makes it a little bit harder to hold it, right? Like, you know, because you have like almost a camera grip right here. Here you don't have this, so you just kind of have to have it lay in your hands. So I generally do like the Kindle more in this design, and the fact that Kindle is made out of metal also adds a little bit more to that premium feel. Now this is already a premium device. It comes with a color display, and the price reflects it, as it is coming at about $300. So it's not the cheapest ebook reader you can get. And furthermore, when it comes down to just reading books on it, I would probably maybe recommend you get something that doesn't have a color display. And this is not because I consider it to be bad or anything like that, but color display is a second display. And as such, it actually drains more battery off of the ebook reader. So if you want to have the best kind of battery longevity, it would benefit you to go with just a black and white version of it, as for reading, you don't need colors. And by not getting colors, you get more battery life, which I personally find it more useful. And on top of that, you actually get a lower price tag. Now, getting into specifications, this is running an Android 13. At least it should be. Let's quickly check. System updates, maybe? It's going to tell me right here what it is. Nope. Come on, go back. There we go. Where is... Trying to see where we have some kind of info about this. Interesting. Oh, wait, I think I remember, because I did use this device at one point. There was usually a settings that you could access, like the real Android settings, but I don't see it right now. So yeah, I don't recall how to access this, but this would be probably the easiest way to check out the actual device version of Android. In any case, let's just move on. It's not really the most important thing when it comes down to ebook reader anyway. So we have Type-C for charging. We also have Wi-Fi 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, meaning we have the Wi-Fi 6 right here. Bluetooth 5.1, and let's see what else is there to mention. I'm kind of looking for battery, how long the battery lasts, if it's labeled on their website, but I don't see it. Now what I do see is the resolution of this display. So the black and white one. That's running a resolution of 1264 by 1608 pixels, which is pretty damn good resolution for an ebook reader. And then the color one is 632 by 840. So like I mentioned, both of them are at 300 and 150 pixels per inch. Now, I do want to also talk about usability of this. I used one of the Boox ebook readers myself, and they all basically run the same software or skin of Android. And this is actually a solid UI right here. It works great. I generally like it, and it has a benefit of, for instance, if you have some kind of ebooks already on your SD card or anything like that, you can pop it in here, and you don't have any kind of DRM BS on here. You can use their store, which we do have one. It was somewhere right here. Store settings. Maybe it's in apps. Should be somewhere here, but they do have their own store. And in general, you can get books from them if you want to, or you can just buy them through some other means and just download the file, put it on an SD card, or just plug it into Type-C and load it directly to the 64 gigabytes of built-in storage in here, and read it from here. And additionally, by uploading things like this to the device, you don't have the downsides of BS like for instance, Kindle recently had, where they decide to, you know what, your device is about a decade old, so go yourself. We're just gonna prevent you from basically being able to use it. Now, the books that you have on there, great, keep it. But if you delete them, you can't get them back, and you can't actually put on any new books on there because it's a closed system. So if you don't get it from Amazon, you can go screw yourself. You're not gonna get it from anywhere else. Here, you don't have this limitation. This is running Android. Now, it doesn't mean that you own this, but you have a little bit more versatility over this than you do have with Kindles. So it does have a little bit more freedom compared to the Kindle. And generally, I would probably recommend going for this or other devices such as this one that give you the ability to, pop in your own book library in here and not have to be forced into using one that might be taken away from you because, God forbid, your device has worked too long for you. Oh no, it's 10 years. You're supposed to buy a new one, you peasant. So this obviously doesn't care, as you can load it up and you never have to buy a book from Boox themselves or any other store that would be associated with this device. You can just get it on your computer, or if you have like the renting libraries that do offer ebooks, you can do that too and load it up here without a problem. So that's it. And generally, like I said, I used one of these devices, so they are pretty solid in how they work. This actually seems to be working definitely faster than I remember. And on top of that, I see it is still visible, but there's very little kind of not ghosting, what is it, like basically burn-ins here. I don't know how else to call it. You can see it still. Trying to get the light to kind of catch it. So you can see, like, for instance, Play Store right here. Like the little triangle, that's for the Play Store. If I flip the page, you can see it's right there. But this is much less noticeable than it used to be on like older devices. And you do have in here brightnesses, and we have refresh rates as well. If I actually can remember how the hell to find it. Is it this? Oh, there we go. So we have HD and we have speed right here as two options. So we can choose whichever one we want. So if I want HD, which looks to be actually selected. So this is already selected actually. So this is the HD, so maybe that's why it's kind of giving me a very low amount of like images visible on here, but it's still there. Now you could add a way to refresh this display, which I remember, is it this? Yep, there we go, and it's completely gone, so there's nothing here. Typically this is done automatically. For instance, when you're reading a book and you swipe to the page, it will automatically do that. but on a normal usage, it's not doing it. And at least in the default kind of UI that we have right here, you don't really get too much of scrollable content, but we should be able to see some. Or not. Trying to see what I could open up that would show me. Oh, that's a calculator, not what I. Maybe calendar? Okay, so they do go out of the way to make anything non-scrollable, but just kind of like a page flip. So it's instant to get rid of any kind of motion. So in a way that's good for usability. It looks better when you have e-ink display. But when you start, I don't know, browsing the web, you might want to in here change it to speed, which will sacrifice the burn-in kind of effect for just a smoother experience. Now right here, again, it's not too visible as this is done specifically to mitigate this effect. But like I said, browsing web when you have to scroll, and at that point it is actually scrolling, or maybe you want to open up YouTube, which you can, that will be a bit more noticeable. And speaking of, because this is actually using Google and comes with Play Store, meaning it has Play services, that means that it can get all the 8 things like YouTube, Gmails, and everything else that you would be able to get on a phone and use it on here, which makes this very versatile device. So that's about it. It's a great device for reading. Like I said, I've used a much lower end version of this. I had the Pocket one, I think, if I remember correctly, and that was working fantastically. So if you're looking for a solid ebook reader, this is it. Just know that the build quality, at least in terms of feel, it's not, I would say, the best, but books is pretty reputable. And what you can do is basically get cases for this. That would make it feel a little bit nicer in hand. So maybe we would recommend doing that. Because other than that, the device itself is pretty good. Anyway, with that being said, I hope you found this very helpful. And if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.